With the recent criticisms of stars not trying and putting any effort into the All-Star game, you'd be surprised to see just how much effort the stars actually just put into scoring. There's been record-breaking scores on an almost year-by-year basis recently, so it shouldn't be too much of a surprise to see many of the current generation players having the highest points per game career averages at the All-Star game. Just to note, this list is for players with a minimum of 2 All-Star appearances because it wouldn't really be an average if the player only played in 1 All-Star game but happened to score a lot of points within the 1 appearance. Let's list in order the top 10 points per game career All-Star game scorers. LeBron is number 1 in all-time points in the All-Star game as well, and has over 140 points, more than second place. But as for points per game, LeBron is only 10th, but still averages an impressive 21.7 points per game, over 20 All-Star game appearances, and this is even after his 8-point performance a few days ago in the 2024 All-Star game. LeBron also won 3 All-Star game MVPs in 2006, 2008, and 2018. 9. Karl Anthony Towns. While LeBron's most recent performance brought down his All-Star career points per game, Cats rose tremendously with the 50-point performance a few days ago in the 2024 All-Star game. With 4 All-Star appearances so far, this recent performance skyrocketed him all the way to 9th all-time in points per game at the All-Star game. Prior to his 50-point performance a few days ago, he only averaged 12.3 points per game across his 3 prior All-Star appearances. Currently, he now averages 21.75 points per game across his 4 All-Star game appearances, now including the latest one. Remarkably, he only averages 17.8 minutes per game in All-Star games, but still put up this scoring average. 8. Stephen Curry. Curry's expected to be on this list as he is number 1 in all-time three-pointers made in All-Star game history. Curry has 10 All-Star game selections, but missed 1 game due to injury. He still averaged 21.78 points per game across the 9 All-Star games he played in. Curry was also the 2022 All-Star game MVP. 7. Jason Tatum. Ironically, the season after Curry won All-Star Game MVP, Jason Tatum then won the 2023 All-Star Game MVP, placing him 7th all-time just ahead of Curry. Tatum actually holds the record for most points scored in an All-Star Game ever from the 2023 All-Star Game, where he scored 55 points. Overall, across his 5 All-Star Game appearances, he averages 22 points per game. 6. Damian Lillard. Dame has always showed up to play for All-Star games, even when he's not starting or doesn't get much minutes. He scores a lot and has consistently been among the finalists for the All-Star Game MVP many times. Dame's efforts have finally been rewarded as he just won the 2024 All-Star Game MVP. Lillard's also contributed to winning in these games, having won 5 of the 7 All-Star games he's played, including the 2024 All-Star Game. Dame averages 22.3 points per game in All-Star games, remarkably, while only averaging 20.4 minutes per game. Dame can definitely score among the best, and his placement on this list is a testament to that. 5. Joel Embiid. Embiid is a versatile scoring machine who's already won 2 scoring titles, and if he returns in time would be eligible to win his 3rd this season. Embiid's on pace to be one of the greatest scorers of all time, and it only makes sense he shows the same in All-Star games. Despite 7 All-Star game selections, he's only been able to play in 5 due to injuries, but across the 5 All-Star games he's played in, Embiid averages 23.8 points per game. 4. Kevin Durant. This shouldn't really come as a surprise. KD is one of the greatest scorers of all time with 4 scoring titles. Despite 14 All-Star game selections, he's only been able to play in 11 due to injuries, but in the 11 All-Star games he has played, he averages 24.4 points per game. KD's effortless scoring ability works perfectly in his favor in this generation's All-Star games, where players play around with little effort. KD's scoring seems effortless, but he's certainly putting up big numbers. KD is also a 2-time All-Star Game MVP in 2012 and 2019. 3. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is one of the rare few to still take the All-Star game seriously. He even took drafting pretty seriously, having notes ready. He consistently plays hard and constantly tries to go for the MVP in these games. Giannis was the 2021 All-Star Game MVP and has been a finalist candidate for the award many years. Across 8 All-Star Game appearances, he averages 24.9 points per game. Unfortunately, he's only won half of the All-Star games he's played in though, hence hasn't won more All-Star Game MVPs. 2. Tyrese Halliburton. This will surprise a lot of people as Halliburton's known for his massive assist numbers, but in the All-Star game he scored much more than he passes. He also just made the cut as he got a 2nd All-Star appearance just this year. Halliburton hasn't won an All-Star game MVP yet, but was extremely close and only marginally lost to Dame this year in Indiana, where Indiana fans were very unhappy and booed Dame on receiving the 2024 All-Star game MVP. Nonetheless, Halliburton does average more points per game in All-Star games so far than 6th place Dame. Halliburton averages a clean 25 points per game in All-Star games in only 20.5 minutes per game. Number 1, Jaylen Brown. This will definitely surprise everyone, but Jaylen Brown averages the most points per game in All-Star game history, and it's by a large margin. Brown averages 31 points per game across his 3 All-Star game appearances. That's 6 more points per game than second place Tyrese Halliburton. Remarkably, he never even started in an All-Star game before, but he consistently plays hard, even playing good defense against even his own Celtics teammate Jason Tatum. Even in the most recent 2024 All-Star game, Brown only played 22 minutes but scored 36 points. Brown's efforts in All-Star games is rewarded by All-Star game coaches that play him more minutes than typical reserves would get. Despite never starting, he averages an impressive 24.6 minutes per game in All-Star games and scores big time during those minutes. Brown has yet to win an All-Star game MVP, but if he continues to play and score like this in these games, it's only a matter of time. If you liked the video and want to see more like it, please remember to like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out my other video breaking down the top 20 career winning percentages among current active players.